Would love to hear some more intentions and what you're excited to learn. We are about to dive in deep. So stay connected with us in the tribe here. Exactly what I'm seeking to practice in this human life. I love it. Your body is the vessel, and you're about to learn or deepen into the fact that this is Aries medicine. A part of what I'm sharing is Aries medicine. I'm a rising Aries. So the medicine that I bring forward is in a large way Aries medicine, which is empowerment, the colors black and red, risk taking, initiating change, and leading by example, and this warrior spirit. So, me starting to lift weights is a very Aries quality. Aries is the body. So if you have a business, then your rising sign is the external reflection of your medicine. If I was a rising Taurus, whole different story. The medicine would look more like sensuality, baths, poetry, money, this Venusian depth of pleasure, and also dedication to building. Taurus is the builder. And it's really a sign of sensuality and the five senses. So my marketing might be green, might be floral. You picking up what I'm putting down here? So for the business owners, this is fun stuff. So I would love to hear your intention. My intention is to have a lot of fun with you, to teach some cool shit, and to help you deepen into your soul's most innate essence, which is your natal chart, your essence, written in the sky, who you are, so that you deepen into compassion for who you are, that you sit in the seat of who you are, not who you're not, that you restore who you are. Let me know if you're feeling that, a restoration of your essence and union with your divine design. And I love this under these understandings we're about to dive into because with the moon signs, new moon and full moon, you can track when you know the house system, which house the moons land in, which is a really strong indicator of what the moon means for you. Let's dive in. And if a share arises within you, drop it in the chat. I want this to be, like I said, in community, even if you're just feeling it, right? That's more than enough. There's never an obligation to share or anything like that. Just you feeling the tribe is going to amplify your experience. So just want to say that. Okay, great. So I am going to share my screen. Am I going to do that? Let me see what we're going over today. So we are going over the astrology archetypes and the ruling planet. So each sign has a ruling planet. And side note, your rising sign, the ruling planet of your rising sign is your chart leader, is your chart ruler, as some might say. Now, I also want to say, take or leave any of this. Okay. If something doesn't resonate, toss it out. You're a mystic. You don't have to buy into everything I say. It's unlikely that everything that comes out of my mouth will be a full fuck yes. I totally support that and take or leave. Cool. We're mystics, so we experiment, take a piece of knowledge, even if it makes you uncomfortable, place it in or around your body, feel it out for yourself, and have that responsibility and trust with you. That's really key. Also, I do not worship astrology and I do not worship my tarot cards, okay? I just want to say this. I am devoted first and foremost to my creator, and I call that God. And this is not a religious statement. I know who I serve. So I don't worship astrology. Astrology is not a box to fit into. It is a map to God's divine design of you. It's a language of the cosmos and it's a language of the divine. So I just want to say that. The power is your belief system, right? So scientifically, if you believe something, it comes to be, and you will find evidence for that. So just taking note there, right? Another thing important to note is that with every energy, this is called the law of balance. And if you have a question come up as I'm speaking, drop it in. I'm cool with that. Some people aren't cool with that, facilitators. It throws them off, but I'm cool with that. So there's a thing called law of balance, and that is everything has both light and dark. So it's not like a negative aspect in astrology. And if you don't know what an aspect is, don't worry about it. We're not even going to get into that today. A more challenging aspect or thing is not negative or bad. Okay. There's positive and negative in all things, law of balance. Even the most positive energy in astrology also has a shadow. Good. So this is balance. Great. Let's breathe as we go on this journey. So I see astrology as 6 coins. 6 coins. On each coin is a pair. Gemini, Sagittarius, Libra, Aries, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces, and the other one. So, and we'll get through all of them. They're pairs. It's called an opposition. They're opposite energies. I call it sexy tension. Sexy tension, right? These are oppositions. Pisces and Virgo are opposite. They're going to have sexy tension in the qualities of their energies. They also balance each other out, right? And so a part of thank you, Eliza. Cancer Capricorn. Perfect. You're the perfect one to remind me of that because that's you in many ways. Balance is the name of the game. So I'm deep into Pisces energy. If you don't know yet, here now you know. A lot of water and fire for me. So a part of how I balance my Pisces is I make a list. A list is called Virgo. Virgo is task master. Okay. Pisces is I am swimming in spirit. And so you can look to your opposite sign. I'm talking more sun sign right now to balance out your energy. Sound good? Okay, great. Anything else I want to say before we get into it? So let's just go over this in case somebody doesn't know, or if you do know, let's do beginner mind. 3 core elements of the chart, sun, moon, rising. This is your natal chart, sun, moon, rising. In order to know your rising sign, you will need to know your exact time of birth. And if you do not know your time of birth, you won't have your rising or your house placements. It's not a big deal. It's totally fucking fine. The time of your birth gives you your rising sign and the layout of your house placements, right? So just FYI there. And then, of course, we have our natal astrology and we have the collective astrology, right? So there'll be, and on astro.com, you're able to pull up the transit over top of your natal chart. Exact minutes do matter. Yes, great question. It can change it down to the minute. You got it. Exactly. Obviously, they don't matter as much as being on the hour, but it can change the rising sign, I do believe, with the minutes. Amazing. So your rising sign is always the first house. You ready to dive in? Who's excited? Who's excited? Let's rock. Welcome to the Temple of Awakening. And I literally have no notes. I'm such a nerd that like I'm not reading off of anything. And that's part of one of my gifts is when I love what I love, it gets stored in my consciousness in like a really cool way. So one of my gifts that I will completely own and celebrate right now. I invite you to do that as we go. First house, you ready? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer all the teachings as we go. So we're going to talk about the archetypes as we go, unless I change my mind. First house. It's the house of self. Think about it like evolution. When you're born, you are a thing, right? So you can think about it like the chakras as well. You do develop through your natal chart, right? So when you're born, first house, I exist. And then we go all the way to the 12th house, which is death and rebirth and the transcendental states of higher awakening. So think about the root chakra or the Maslow's hierarchy of needs as being the base. I am and I exist. Now, have you ever opened up your chakras up here without being grounded in the I am? No bueno. I've had clients that have experienced levels of psychosis due to awakenings that blasted them upwards without rooting. So, for all of the spiritual, mystical, badass beings in this room, invitation to acknowledge your separate self, the I am. Cool? This is first house. Your identity, who you believe yourself to be, and it is the Aries ruled house. Aries ruled house. Actually, I think I might go through the whole house system and then go into the archetypes after. And again, I might change my mind. So we're just going to start there. So the first house is the house of your rising sign. It describes who you're becoming. It is the evolution of your identity, this formulated thing that you are. Your personality, your beliefs, it's like your spirit in the bottle. First house is the bottle, is the chalice, right? I am. And the yogis call that the illusion of separateness because we are the fucking all, right? And I know who I'm speaking to. You are all very attuned to the spirit. Aries consciousness is I am a separate self, and it is very important because that's why we freaking came here, right? We're in separate bodies. Aries and the first house is the body. Your body is the chalice. Want to expand your spirit? Strengthen your body. There's a reason why I started lifting weights. The main reason was because I wanted to feel more powerful in my spirit, and I wanted to overcome obstacles, and I wanted to grow. I already had strong arms from being a yogi, and I'm hitting these growth edges in the gym that I wouldn't have hit studying a book. This is the house of action and body. Action, body, identity. Good with that? Second house. Actually, I think I am going to talk about, let me just go back and let you know the deeper details here. The ruler of Aries is Mars. Cool? Mars is known as the god of war. Okay? The exertion of your will. Yeah? Amazing. Second house is Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. There are two signs that are ruled by Venus. Venus is the goddess of love and beauty. Two signs are ruled by Venus, Taurus and Libra. Taurus is Earth Venus. Libra is air Venus. Second house is possessions. Straightforward. Possessions, self-worth, the five senses, and what you're building. So if you feel like you have self-worth stuff, second house. It's physical things that you own. It is the house of building wealth. There's a money axis. It's called Taurus and Scorpio. This is a money axis. Taurus stacks wealth. Taurus stacks and hoards and builds on. It's predictable. It wants predictable paychecks. Scorpio is water money. It's, I just got a check for $10,000 and I didn't fucking do anything to receive it. I just got it. That's Scorpio. Taurus is, I work for the money. I build with my efforts. One's not better than the other. And Scorpio is, I made $0 in May and I made 10K in June. Water money, unpredictable, other people's money. Taurus is me, 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 I. You with me? Me, what's mine? I've studied this axis a hell of a lot because it's very apparent in my chart. Taurus is what's mine. It's pleasure. Second house is senses, the material realm. The ruler is Venus, sensuality, luxury. Good with second? Keep on breathing. The third house is the house of siblings. So every house in the natal chart rules an area of your life. Third house is siblings, local community. And by the way, each house has an opposite house. The opposite house to the first house is the seventh house. The opposite house to the second house is the eighth house. The opposite house to the third house is the ninth house. And I believe it just goes in a cross. Like you can see it cross across the chart. Like it's easy to map out. So the third house is the Gemini house, local community. So I had a partnership over the summer and we had a crossing of our like his Venus was in my third house. There was something in our synastry that was third house and people have actually I read online that that can mean that you have to travel locally to be with that person and he lived an hour away from me and that was just freaking crazy and like in the chart in our synastry chart. How cool is that? Local travel, it's the house of information. Social media is in the third house. It's the house of social media, internet technology, specifically exchange of ideas. This is Gemini. The ruler is Mercury, the god of, when I say God, I don't mean the God. It's just that's how the Greeks did it with their language. The messenger god. This is Mercury. Also rules Virgo. And please take in to your capacity. You're going to have the replay so long as you're in the Winged Alchemy Temple. So take into your capacity. Yes. Don't feel overwhelmed by anything. If something doesn't stick, let it go. Third house is the exchange of ideas on a more surface level, right? So the exchange of news, the information within a local community. So if you have Venus here, that's significant, right? So you're going to have planets that are in these houses. That's significant. And we'll have some time for Q&A. And we might go to 8:05. I'm going to try to keep it right there. So we're just going to touch in to this. Get the gist, get straight to the juice. One thing that I feel like I'm pretty versed at is getting to the heart of it, getting to the core of it. So I'm going to do my best there. So third house is Gemini, local community siblings, and it's ruled by Mercury, messenger god. It's an information house. Good with that? Drop any questions if you have them. Okay, here we go. Fourth house. This is the house of Cancer, the sign. It's ruled by the moon. Fourth house, we just had a full moon in Cancer. Fourth house is home, lineage, the mother line, your ancestry, old shit like old Oriental rugs. If somebody has a Venus in Cancer, and I've dated a lot of people, a good handful of people, a couple, and I love this. The last three partners that I've had have Venus in Cancer, and it's like freaking beautiful, very sensitive, very deep and emotional and like nostalgic. They love like rose petals, old photos, fucking libraries, like old stuff. If you know Cancer energy, they like relics of the past. Yes. And also like let me know if I'm calling you out in like a good way. Like that's me. Relics of the past. Fourth house is literally that. So if you have a full moon landing in your fourth house, this is a release of ancestral stuff. Connecting the dots here. Fourth house is the mother line, ancestry, your home life, your family life. Yes, growing up. The moon is moody. It's a place that changes and fluctuates, right? It changes. It's always shifting. The opposite house to the fourth is the 10th. Good? We're growing up on the natal chart. We're literally like we're growing our souls as we expand. Ready for the fifth? Excuse me. The fifth house is the Leo house, and it's ruled by the sunshine. This is the house of flirtation, romance, creativity, and children. And that's what it is. That's all I need to say about it, but I'll say a little bit more. It's the house of leisurely activities. Not doing stuff to make money, doing it because you have fun, like knitting, right? And you might make money. I'm calling. You're like, whoa, hi, cat. Like you just like it. You just like it, right? That's what it is. Yeah. You can make money on stuff you like, but the real heart of it, of course, right? Duh. The heart of it is it's a leisurely activity. You do it because you like it. It's like tennis, right? It's the house of children. Your inner child. It's the house of the actor, the actress, the performer. Think about the sun. It brings warmth. Leo is ruled by the sun. Leadership, loyalty. Think about the lion. Think about courage. So if you have a new moon moving in, transiting your fifth house, it's a new beginning in the sign of your creativity. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. If there's one house of creativity, it's fifth house. The opposite sign, the opposite house to fifth is 11th. Questions? Good with fifth? The house of children? Okay, Virgo. Sixth house, Virgo house, ruled by Mercury once again. This is the house of daily tasks, work environment, and routine, and health on a very physical level. You just yawned and you're so cute. That's my cat. You're so cute. Health, all things health, sixth house. Task master Virgo, sensitive to lighting and physical environments. Virgo is the routine of daily life routine, new routine, health routine, work environment. It's also a house of service. Like if somebody has a shit ton of stuff in the sixth house, they are serving. They are, you feel me, Katie? I know, right? I love the melted emoji. That's one of my favorite emojis, the melted one and the butter one. Yeah. Yeah. Drop any of your thoughts and any awakenings that you have as we go. I love to hear it. Or later too. You can do that as well, of course. Health, environment, daily life. Opposite house is 12th. Big belly breath. Ah. Ready for seventh? Great. Seventh house. Things are starting to get interesting. Okay. Things are starting to get interesting. Seventh house is one-on-one partnerships and alliances, all types of contracts, marriage contracts, divorces, legal shit, client contracts, one-to-one client work, one-to-one relationships of all kinds. It's one-to-one stuff. Opposite house is first house. First house is me, I. Now, in order to have a healthy, harmonious union in relationship, you have to have a strong sense of self. Yes or no? Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Uh-huh. Two holes make this sacred geometry thing. I freaking love that. Sacred geometry is I am centered in my I am. And so are you. And then we make this beautiful geometry. Nobody's perfect. Having it's like first house is number one. You got to do that first, right? Deepen into self, and then you can unify healthily with others. Yeah, good stuff. Fun stuff. Seventh house is all things commitment. Commitment creates the platform for soul level love. That's where we're going. You with me? So, seventh house is commitment and contracts. It's not very sexy and romantic. It actually is, though, because within a sacred, committed container, we have transcendent love. Who feels that? If there's no agreements, right, or communication around our container, maybe for a couple, right, there's going to be a holding probably of going deep. So they do kind of go in order the houses. So this is the Libra house. It's ruled by Venus. Now, here's an interesting thing. I don't have any planets in the seventh house. That's common. I have quite a number of empty houses, and I'll pull up my chart here in a minute and walk us through a visual. And I had an astrologer say, Ashley, your 11th house, the house of groups and communities, is filled with stuff. Your seventh house of one-on-one client work is empty. Now, her idea was you're probably going to thrive when you teach with groups. And that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I love one-on-ones and I really love groups. Something happens when I am in a group environment. It actually takes less energy for me to do groups. And some people, it's the opposite. It's so interesting. When I go to my recovery center and I teach to a group of 25, the larger the group, the less energy it takes me. And I'm open for that to be changed. If that's a disempowering story, change it. That's just what I've noticed. Smaller group takes more energy. Isn't that interesting? For some people, it's the opposite, right? So when I'm presenting and with a community, there's a momentum that moves through me, and there's this kind of community power that moves. Pretty cool stuff. So seventh house is one-on-one client work as well. Fun? Eighth house. Whoa. Scorpio, Pluto's the ruler, Mars as well, sorta. That's the ancient ruler, but let's stick with Pluto to keep it simple. This is soul merging stuff. The opposite house is Taurus. I have, right? Aries is I am, Taurus is I have. Where Taurus says, here's my pile and here's yours. Scorpio says, this is ours. It's shared power, it's shared resources, and it is twin flame. There's some weird teachings about that out there. Let's call it soul union type stuff. The eighth house, check it. You ready? Inheritance, other people's money. Okay. If you have stuff in the eighth house, you might win the lottery. You might have to go through intense freaking death and rebirths. Y'all are eighth house people. I already know it because we're similar. I'm just saying it. Who's got some eighth house stuff happening here? Come on now. Eighth house is the house of alchemy. Yay! Alchemy. All right. It's death and rebirth. It is everything paranormal. It is the house of manipulation. All right. And wrong use of intensity and power. So it is the house of inheritance, debt, finance, Chiron in the eighth. Mm, yeah, that could look like a wound around sexuality, around the raw expression of your desires, right? Like religious wounding, shame around the paranormal and your desires. That's one way you might read that. There's probably a couple ways, yeah. A boxing in of your intensity, a wound in a one-on-one, in a soul level wound. Because eighth house is soul. It's the house of debt, using debt, right? Or being in debt. It's the house of inheritance. It's other people's stuff. It's winning the lottery. It's people giving you money, right? And I have this big in my chart, and it's really fascinating. It's money and resources that you didn't work for. Taurus is I worked 9 to 5. Again, one's not better than the other. I worked 9 to 5. I get my paycheck. I'm stable. Scorpio, eighth house is like, dude, zero this month, 10K this month, water money. It's like stocks and bonds and making money in a very effortless type of way. Like yeah, it's that kind of experience. Raw transformation, intensity. Also, if you're heavy eighth house, you might be really fucking interested in death, right? So that's eighth house stuff, death and rebirth. And it's a psychological house, right? It's like, what is happening in their psychology? It's a deep psychological house. And again, seventh house is contracts and that type of thing. Eighth house is deep soul merging, intense pleasure and big feelings. Good with that? Awesome. If there's one house with sex and kinks, it's eighth house. It's eighth house. Very fun times, very fun house. And with a lot of eighth house energy, a really nice expression is kinks and sexuality because we are honoring that intensity of merging souls and we're giving it an outlet. This is important. We're giving it an outlet. Yeah. Ninth house. Ninth house is the Sagittarius house. It's ruled by Jupiter and it's foreign travel, Opposite house is third house. That's local travel. You getting the patterns here? So third house is local travel. Ninth house is foreign travel. All religions and spiritual paths are lumped into the ninth house. All spiritual and religious things are lumped into the ninth house. It is the house of philosophy and spiritual evolution. It's also the house of more. So this is also an addiction house. I'll tell you why. Because addiction is the disease of more. I'm in recovery. I'm going on my 9th year. Freaking sweet. Om, as Jerry would say. She says om in a moment like that. Yeah. The house of more. Jupiter's the largest planet. It expands what it touches. All right. So this is, if you have Chiron in the 9th, that could mean you were wounded by religion, by a belief system. All belief systems and philosophies are in the 9th. It's also the house of publishing books. So a heavy 9th house, you're probably a writer. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I just saw it today with a client. Writer, teacher, student of life, spiritual teacher. I have a lot of 9th house stuff happening. It's the house of expansion, of knowledge and wisdom and Buddhism. And ooh, it just turns me on. Questions about that? 9th house? All belief systems, 9th house. Yeah. Also, dogma, the shadows of 9th, right? Religious dogma, things like that. Our belief systems that don't serve us also fall in the 9th. Sun in the 9th, yeah. Mm. Yeah, the expression of your energy is a student and teacher at heart. At heart. Sun is like the heart, right? Sun is the heart. Yeah, I love it. Ready for 10th? It's about to get real. 10th house is daddy Saturn or mommy Saturn or whatever the frick you want to call it. Come on now. 10th house is career and legacy, all right? Ruled by Saturn. Capricorn's your guy. Opposite house is, come on, brain. I'm so proud of you. 4th. One way to read that is the 4th house is the mother line and the 10th house is the father line. That's just one way. It doesn't have to always be that way. Where 4th house is home and family, the 10th house is leaving the home and family to achieve. It's the highest pinnacle of your life's achievement. Everybody in this room could redefine what success means for you. Very important. Because we have been incredibly programmed to put success in a box. So, fun assignment, if you shall receive it, is what is success? What is success? This is the house of self-actualization. It's the house of time and restriction. Restriction's not always, hi, uni. Restrictions are not always negative. You need very specific measurements to build the Golden Gate Bridge. Yes? Specifics and limitations are not always negative. You need limitations when you're building a bridge. The Capricorn is connected, or the 10th house is not just connected to you and your achievement, but what you leave for your children's children. The legacy that will walk behind you. We're getting into more mature energy. Can you feel it? We're growing up in the natal chart, more mature. That's 10th house. Career, your legacy, and your responsibility. Doing the shit that you don't want to do. It's the opposite of instant gratification. It's the long game. The goat never gives up. The goat never gives up. Yes, exactly, Eliza. I love that. And it's a spiral path. So we'll spiral back to one, we'll spiral, right? And then we're just, the spiral, you're never actually going back to the same place because you're different now. Think about that. Like Fibonacci spiral, you're expanding outwards. You might touch the same area of life, but you're not the same. You're not the same. Fun. Yeah, exactly, Kat. A spiral staircase. Yes. Ready for 11th? Aquarius, Uranus. 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes, actually. Wish fulfillment. It's the house of technology, for better or for worse, right? Law of balance. It's the house of groups and communities, where you belong in the tribe. It's the house of individuation. I got nothing in there, says Kat. Interesting. Interesting. Do you have any placements in Aquarius though? Because that'll be the similar energy. Does that make sense for everybody that the houses go with a sign? And if you have, for example, yeah, if you have like Mars in the 11th, that's going to be an Aquarius flavor, whether it's an Aquarius or not. I have what's called a natural chart, which is my rising is Aries, and Aries is number one. So most every one of my signs are matched with their exact house ruler. So I have Mars in the 11th and it's in Aquarius. Does that make sense? It's in the house that it rules. Jupiter in the 5th. That's epic. I think I've read your chart. It's making sense. Great. I do have astrology readings, one-on-one readings available, and I do have a discount code for everybody in this room, which I'll share later if you are inspired to go deeper. 11th house is technology groups and communities, and also individuation, which we can only truly belong when we know exactly who we are. Let me change that. We can only truly feel a sense of belonging when we are devoted to who we are in our essence. Just like first house and 7th house, yeah. Groups and communities, technology. If somebody has lots of energy here, they are a part of a team. They really thrive in groups and communities. Heavy 7th house, lots of one-on-ones. Uranus is the revolutionary. It's going to shake the rug. So this is the house of evolution and revolution. Whatever is stagnant, Uranus comes in and fucks shit up. When you go to clean out your closet, you dig everything up and you throw it all on the floor. That's Uranus. It looks messy, but it's a process of redemption. It's a process of evolution. The messiest stuff all over the planet is a part of our story of the evolution of our consciousness. And side note, the Winged Alchemy Mystery School is going to be a gated community inside the free Winged Alchemy Temple. And what I'm picking up on for the evolution of the mystery school is that it is specifically for leaders, somebody who identifies as a leader in their life, in their community. So it is supporting people who are here to answer the call. So just side note, and more information's coming. Thank you all for your patience who are excited to be in there. 11th house. I had to say it in the 11th house. That's the community, right? That's one of them. Okay, great. Ready for the 12? How are we doing? Let's breathe. You're doing so well, to myself and you. All right, 12th. This is good shit. We're at the final stretch. 12th house is Pisces and Neptune. All right, the ruler is Neptune. I've studied this house in depth because I have a lot going on. I got a lot going on in this house. Okay. It's the house of secrets, as many astrologers will call it, house of secrets. It's the house of Christ, if Christ were to be in a house. It's the house of Mother Mary and transcendental love. Eighth house is soulmate love. 12th house is literally union with God. It is love that is incomprehensible. Lots of Pisces placements, you will love fucking everything. You will not understand why there's evil. It will trip you out because you cannot fathom how anybody can harm somebody intentionally. It is the house of dreams, the unconscious mind, sound, and music. The artist, this is the house of Rumi, yes? The mystic. Opposite house is the sixth house. The balance of the dreamer and the mystic is make a list and get a little bit real with your routines, right? Because you can get really swept up in the 12th house. The 12th house rules altered states of consciousness. You guessed it, addiction falls in the 12th. You can get drunk on God or you can get drunk on alcohol. This is 12th house. I can literally get high on my creator with no medicine. I go into altered states when I am in touch with my creator. There is nothing like it. It is what I crave. Union with my creator. This is where my internal like self kind of peeks out. Ah. Pisces. Now, illusion is also here. I'm going to say one more thing. We're going to go about 5 minutes over. Addiction is also in the ninth. Yes, because addiction is the disease of more. And the ninth house is ruled by Jupiter, which is more, 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 more. Jupiter expands what it touches. It wants more. Gluttony is a shadow of Sagittarius. Yeah, which is the ninth house. Pretty cool, huh? 12th house also rules rehab centers, addiction centers, retreats like yoga retreats, anything where you're retreating out of society. 12th house. And sound healing, music. 12th house. Hypnotherapy, subconscious healing. 12th house. Questions? Some ahas? Nice. So I sort of touched on the archetypes of each sign, but what I'll do, because I like to follow through, it's a very 10th house of me, is I will give you, and I've already put this on social media and I've already put this in an email I sent out. Interesting, Eliza. You probably have a lot of fifth house stuff then, which I know because I've read your chart too. Fifth house, right? Yeah. She says, I'm a singer-songwriter with an empty 12th house, which doesn't mean, yeah, like you can still have stuff going on, right? It's just not like a strong placement for you, perhaps. Now, the question is, what do you have in Pisces? Because that would be connected there. Fifth house is also the house of creativity and performing. Big time. Big time. Did we have fun? Did we learn some freaking cool stuff? Amazing. How about a deep breath? Send it out. All. This was a blast. Go get some rest. Hi to those on the replay. Thank you for being here and see you soon. Love you.